So we're on day 2 and the BBC weather app promised us sun, and that's exactly what we got.
Morning, sun's up, barn doors are open, backing onto a stream. Not quite sure you want anymore than a cup of tea.
The River Manifold weaves its way through the scenery, and it has a really surprising feature that you will see. Stu casts a long shadow in the early sun, and that's not bad for someone that's only 3'5".
We've decided that our new kettle that comes with a whistle, it's more of a old traditional factory gate alarm. All out, on strike.
So despite Stu going to all the effort on the other side with the awning, he decides to use the wind out awning while we have breakfast. For some reason he seems to be becoming really obsessed with awnings. And that's not a bad job. And it's time for a walk in the sun. Now today we're just doing a short walk through the valley along the Manifold Way to Thors Cave. And we don't get far before we have to stop and look at these really cute little ducklings. And it's really great to see that the kids are having fun with mum as well. Now just note the water in the river, and a mystery will unfold throughout this video.
These must be man-made, these things are. Concrete. There's a ford there, look, you go through the ford there.
When you see these buildings, you can't help but think who owns them, and this to me is just screaming to be converted into a house.
It's dried up, huh?
So next we come across this dry riverbed, and the mystery deepens of the missing river. Well, Stu certainly won't be getting up to 20 in this heat, that's for sure. Now unfortunately we didn't catch it on our cameras, but at one part of this walk a guy went whizzing past us on a unicycle.
Dry riverbed. Doesn't mean that dry, so I'm surprised.
This is starting to really bug us now because there was so much water. And finally we spot Thors Cave. And it's not actually till you zoom in and see how small the people are that you appreciate how big the entrance to the cave is. And it's time to get to the top. Thors Cave is a natural cavern and it's 80 metres to the top, so I decided I would have to join Stu after I let him walk the roaches on his own. Between 1904 and 1934, Thors Cave was served by a railway station, and the disused line is now what forms the Manifold Way, and obviously it's so flat, that's why it's so popular with cyclists and walkers. And yet again we come across the dry riverbed.
It's awful patter.
The walk to the cave is well marked, but it's a constant climb all the way up.
Sounds like there's a nice pathway.
Then we come across these amazing trees that look like they're performing a guard of honour. Now I'd like to say this was getting steeper as we went up it, and not that we're unfit, but we're definitely unfit. I won't lie, when we were going up these steps there was times when I just thought they were never going to finish. But we do finally make it. The entrance to the cave is 7.5 metres wide and 10 metres high, and you can't appreciate how big it is until you stand in front of it. Although the entrance to the cave is impressive, it's also really slippy.
So smooth the rocks are.
Now Stu manages to clamber up holding onto the side of the rocks, but I wasn't quite so brave, so I literally slithered up on my stomach and I slithered back down on my backside. And what a great view. We walk back the same way and we stop off at the fantastic little cafe that's next to the campsite.
I think we've earned ourselves a nice cup of tea. So what have you got to eat?
Carrot cake. Nice and healthy.
Yeah, I got bagel tart. Well, I think we earned our calories, to be honest. Just going up to Thors Cave.
I thought I was being clever by measuring out exactly what we needed with rice and pasta on this trip, but then it occurs to me if there's a hole in the bag and it falls on the floor, we've got a problem. And whilst I cook risotto, Stu lies back on the bed overlooking the stream and looking at the map and all the walks in the area. And he finally stops and reads his book. Stu actually saw an 8-inch trout in this river, or so he claims. It goes without saying that where there's waters, there's mozzies, and that's a fact of life, and they just don't bother Stu at all, whereas I really paid the price for being by this river for a couple of days as I got bitten to hell.
Well, tonight's tea, Jane's cooked, is mushroom and bacon risotto. Smells nice. I like the smell of mushroom and bacon. That's good.
And suddenly we're alerted to the sound of a burner from a hot air balloon, and when we go out it looks like it's going to land in the field.
You're going back up now, look. He's flying late.
Never in my life. I'll take me off.
Come on over there.
And then his mate appeared in a very, very faded Virgin balloon, and I must admit I'd think twice about getting in that. And then he disappeared behind the hill and it looked like the invasion of the pumpkins. The following morning the blue skies continued. Stu did a few chores because I like to keep him busy, and that included filling up the water tank. He sets himself up in the extension to have a shave. Total luxury, not like the Little Red Campervan channel where Ken and Carol are the masters of space.
Now what do we do with that?
I don't know. The size of your bloody bowl.
I'm like the vicar.
Can't you wipe it on your flannel?
Nomini Dibonale the victors. If you go that way, you'll see. So we're just going for a walk this morning, on a circular walk, but this time we're going north up the valley, whereas yesterday we went south from the valley to Thors Cave, and it's sort of part on road and part on this Manifold Way, sort of cycling route and that pathway. This time we're going north, and then we're just going on a circular road rack. It's only a short walk, about 4 kilometres basically.
This track looks like it's for all sorts of vehicles. Now that's an interesting looking tree, and I wonder what Trish would name it off the Wee Broom Van channel. Now that's another great watch, and she loves naming quirky trees. We think this may be an entrance to a potholing cave, possibly.
Limestone cave. It's all bricked up there, so it looks like that was something round it, I think.
Now we reach halfway and we come through to the tunnel, and it seems the only way to get through. And it's a good job there's a passing place. Make sure you breathe in, Stu. We've walked round in a big loop and we finally passed the site again, and we're just really happy to see that Harry is where we left him and he's managed to enjoy his day without Mum and Dad. And we're back to the cafe for a well-deserved cornetto. Well, we hope you enjoyed that video, and if so, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe, as next time we head to Lincoln and the Bomber Command Museum. And oh yes, back to that dried river situation. Now this has really been bugging Stu, and he finally finds the answer in the local maps. It's so confusing with so much water yet so dry, literally 500 yards downstream. Okay, so it won't be that cruel. The answer is that the river literally disappears underground in drier times and pops up 5 miles downstream. And the river is only seen in the stretches we filmed where there is enough rain to fill the porous rocks and cabins below. So now you know.
Weird.
Sorry?
It's weird, isn't it?
Amazing how it just disappeared. We were here, how long were we here? 3 weeks ago, right? Yeah. The water was still here. All the
How
way,
was it?
Yeah, down to I would say almost down to where the bridge is.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, it's just going underneath there.
It's just weird, isn't it?
Yeah, apparently it goes...
Pops out about 5 miles
Yeah.
down the stream there.
Yeah, it's really strange.
It's obviously just underground,
Yeah,
thick this, I suppose.
must be, yeah. And then it comes back, which is just unbelievable.
I wonder what happened. I was expecting a great big hole in the ground or something.
Yeah, no, apparently in the winter when this rain comes back, it all just
It all just comes back up again. Amazing.